Having a vision of where you want to go but not knowing exactly what path to take to get there can be the most frustrating thing ever, especially if you're an ambitious person. Now more than ever, there is so much noise online with different ways to live and reach success, and people trying to convince you that their way is the right way. If you have a hard time finding clarity in this, that is totally understandable, and I've been there, believe me. So today I wanted to talk about the things that have helped me find my unique path and knowing what action to take next. So, maybe you know exactly what your goals are, or maybe you feel completely lost and overwhelmed with options. Either way, I've experienced both, and no matter where you are on your path today, I think this episode has the potential to help you progress forwards. So to keep it structured, we're breaking it down to 9 parts. We'll talk about why you feel lost, where clarity actually comes from, decision paralysis and the fear of getting it wrong, removing mental blocks, overthinking and comparison, tips for finding direction, why clarity loves action, learning what you don't know, and surrounding yourself with expanders. So starting out, the reason you're feeling lost and don't know where to focus your energy in the first place is probably because you're looking too much outside of yourself. As I said, there is so much noise nowadays, especially on social media, and it's so easy to look at someone else and think that you'll have to copy their exact path to get to where you want to go in the future. But that's simply not true. Everyone's path looks different, and what's working for someone else might not work for you, and vice versa. And what's more is that most people don't actually need more advice. They need less noise. So if you struggle with this, I encourage you to take a step back, quiet the noise, put your phone down for a bit, and take a look at yourself, where you're at, what your passions are, what you love, your natural strengths, and what you think this world needs more of. That is where you'll find your sweet spot. And finding your purpose in life is a topic I'd love to talk about in a future episode, but this is a good way to start at least. Because when you step into that authentic, passionate version of yourself, I can almost promise you that you'll be intuitively directed, almost divinely guided, if you will. I think there's just something so magical about how human beings operate when we just trust. And it might sound a little bit woo-woo, but I truly do believe that there's some kind of higher intelligence or higher self even. Maybe it's just intuition, but there's something we can tap into to just let us know where we're supposed to go, if we let it. I've experienced this so many times where things didn't work out in favor of redirection, or when opportunities seemed to appear out of seemingly nowhere, and I just had a feeling that it was meant to be that way. So when my friends ask me for advice, I always tell them to make the decisions from a happy place, stepping into your higher self, your best self, the self that you want to become, and take action from their point of view. Listen to your gut feeling. And here's the thing, even if you do commit to one thing and it doesn't work out or it doesn't feel right, you don't have to do that same thing for the rest of your life. You're allowed to change your mind. Right now, you're just trying to build a foundation through trial and error. I mean, do you think that every entrepreneur identifies wholeheartedly with every business that they are building? No, they believe in their idea and that's why they're pursuing it, but your self-worth is not tied to your success. Even if you're building a personal brand, that is not all that you are as a person. Also, another thing is, sometimes your dream doesn't have a title yet. For me, what I wanted didn't really exist in the traditional job market. There's no job listing for eccentric creative or yapping life coach. But I know that I love creating and filmmaking and helping people, so I found an outlet to do that regardless. Just because it's not conventional doesn't mean that it's not valid. And many times, limiting beliefs is what's holding us back from what we actually want to pursue. And they can sound like, I'm too late, or who am I to do this, or what if people judge me, or it has to be perfect. So maybe you have limiting beliefs about it being hard, or you not being the right person to do it, or being uncomfortable with change, or being afraid of what other people would think. And the thing is that we actually believe them because we think it and we feel it so vividly, so of course we think it's true. But those are all just mental blocks. It's all in your mind. And if you can get rid of those, you will usually realize that things are actually a lot simpler than you thought they were. So let's talk about overthinking and comparison. Because overthinking and comparison kills everything. They steal your intuition, they destroy your enthusiasm, they confuse your direction, and they flatten your uniqueness. I think the hunches that we get are the most valuable things in our creativity. If you get an idea that you feel strongly about, don't overthink it. Go after it right away without any hesitation. I've struggled with trusting myself a lot in the past, and it stopped me from progressing so many times. And the times I actually did create something spontaneously because it just felt like the right thing, it usually turned out to be my best work or my best decision. It really comes down to thinking that your beliefs are good enough, that they were placed in your mind for a reason, and that you're strong enough to execute them. So how do you actually find direction? One thing you can do is ask your friends and family what your strengths are, what they think you are naturally good at, because things that are obvious to them may not be obvious to you. Seeing yourself from the outside is really difficult, and sometimes we just get so used to our own minds that we don't really remember what's natural to us. You can even interview yourself. Write it down in a journal or even talk to ChatGPT and then look at your answers from an outside perspective. Look at it as if someone else were writing those answers. What advice would you give to that person? I think we tend to complicate things a lot just because they're about ourselves, because so many emotions and doubts get in the way. But if someone else came to you with that exact same problem, you'd probably be able to find a solution way quicker. Also, would you judge someone else for having that exact same dream or idea? And if not, why are you judging yourself? So moving on, clarity loves action. Because the thing is, you won't find clarity just by thinking about it. Taking action will actually progress you no matter what the action is, because it will reveal what works and what doesn't work and what you like and what you don't like. And moving in any direction may open opportunities for you that you wouldn't have gotten otherwise or that you wouldn't have thought of. That's why I always say it's better to make any decision than make no decision at all, because making no decision is a decision. One of the best things I ever did was to create an alter ego, because when I first started posting online, I was really scared of the concept of being seen, and I was afraid of being potentially judged by people in my real life. But then I realized, first of all, if people are judging me for simply being myself, then they have nothing to do in my life in the first place. But also, I looked at why I was scared to post, and I realized I simply wasn't trusting myself or my decisions. So I created an alter ego, or I actually defined my desired self. A little Sasha Fierce moment, if you will. A version of me who creates fearlessly and believes in every idea she has and who loves attention. I started aligning with her every morning and making my decisions from her point of view. And it's not faking it, I was just aligning with the traits that I knew were already inside of me. I just pulled out the tools that my situation called for. And next up, knowledge is key. When they say knowledge is power, it's really so true. Because a lot of the time, we just don't know how to do the thing. Maybe you want to start a business, but you don't have a business degree. You don't know how the finances work, where to find a supplier, or what accounting even is. Well, all of that information is available online. The only reason it feels daunting right now is because you don't have the confidence yet. And confidence comes from knowledge and experience. So when you know how to do the thing, and you've done the thing before, you'll have no problem doing it over and over again. And remember that mistakes are normal. They're essential even. Even if you start a business and it fails, you still learn something invaluable. And now you know what to do next time. Progress is never perfect, but quantity creates quality. And lastly, surround yourself with people who have already achieved what you want. That will put you in the right mindset. I worked for a successful business owner for the last 9 months, and I've learned so much, both from the business aspect, but also just from his mindset alone. You become the average of the 5 closest people you surround yourself with. So choose those people wisely. You will adopt their visions, their strategies, and their mindset. So if they are already achieving or pursuing the thing that you want, you'll have a much better chance of doing that too. So that brings me to the end of this episode. This has been so much fun. I love this podcast. It feels like I'm talking to my best friend. So if you enjoyed this too, please make sure to subscribe on YouTube or follow on Spotify. You can also follow me on Instagram at @ylvasands, and I will hopefully see you in the next one. Until then, take care. Bye bye.